Hey guys, this is Arun,
And this is Abby.
and welcome back to a brand new episode of Fill Your Pockets. Today's episode will be September the 8th. It's a Wednesday, middle of the week, and we plan on winning some bets today. Quick recap of yesterday. We had one play for yesterday. We had a parlay bet. We had the Atlanta Braves, and we had the San Francisco Giants. Atlanta taking on the Nationals yesterday. That game was kind of close, but Atlanta did prevail and win that game 8-5. And the Giants, that game was not a sweater against the Rockies. Rockies suck. Not suck, but they're pretty bad on the road. Yesterday they were at home. They still ended up losing 12-3. We ended up hitting both of our legs in our parlay, and we won our parlay for yesterday. I think if you parlayed them, you got the odds were plus 105, so pretty decent value. And for the season, right now we're sitting at 30-22, so our record's looking good, and we plan on keeping that record super positive. But Abhishek, before we start today's episode, do you quickly want to recap yesterday's plays and yesterday's games?
Yes, Arun, thanks for that, man. We're back.
Yes, sir.
Labor Day weekend. Hope everyone had a great Labor Day weekend. But we gotta rest up too. We got family, we got friends, we gotta chill out a little bit. So, but we're back. Football season's upon us. College football has began. It's been amazing. Last week, this week one NFL starts tomorrow. Bucks, Cowboys. Obviously, week one for Sunday. That's gonna be like a holiday. It's like a national holiday, in my opinion. But before we get to that, baseball season, this is the best time for baseball because this is it. This is the final stretch. So let's recap. Yes, like Arun mentioned, Braves, Nationals. This game was a blowout, in my opinion. There was no reason for this game to go to where it was. It was 5-1. And then, bullpen comes in as, you can never trust fully anyone because besides the starter, because the starter's going to go 5 innings, 6 innings probably. He comes in, Maze comes in, and he gives up the whole lead right there. 4 runs, and they tie it up. But to be honest, I wasn't sweating it that much because I knew the Washington Nationals bullpen is probably one of the worst in baseball. So, okay, he got out of it. Braves come up. Albies hits a 2-run homer. Soler hits a double. And then I think it was Adam Duvall or someone that hit the other single, 3-run lead. And that was about it. And they weren't going to let a 3-run lead go away. They already blew it once, so they're not going to blow it twice. 8-5. The Braves have to win these games. They have to win these games. They don't have a huge lead in the division, so they have to keep winning. Phillies, they're up and down, but the Phillies are still right there. The Mets, they suck, but they're still right there somehow. By the grace of God, the Mets are still hanging on, and they can still somehow miraculously come back. But that's why the Braves got to take care of their own business. Now we get to the Giants and Rockies. Oh, my God, this was just a blowout. 12-3. It was 4. I think it was 4-0 in the first inning. Oh, it was 3-0 in the first inning. Then it became 4-0, 5-0 in the second inning. It was just Logan Webb, man. You've heard this name. I think I've said nobody's name more in this podcast so far since we started this like 5-6 weeks ago. Logan Webb, this man is just doing things that were unexpected. He is carrying the Giants whenever they need a win, whenever they need a brilliant performance. He has lived up. He's going up against the Dodgers, the Astros, Milwaukee. It don't matter. Great team, bad team. He went to Colorado. Colorado, one of the best home teams in baseball, and they couldn't get him. 7 innings, 3 runs. That's actually a bad outing for him. He went 7 innings, gave up 3 runs. That's actually considered bad for Logan Webb. They scored 12 runs, 12-3. This game was never in doubt. They blew them out. Their bats are hot. They're on top of the division. They have the most at stake. The Giants and Dodgers, these two teams are going to be going at it. They're not going to play each other again because the season series is over between the two, but they're going to definitely be watching. Yo, did the Dodgers win today? Yo, did the Giants win today? Because it's nip and tuck, 1 game, 2 game separation. Both these teams got to keep going at it, and that's why I feel you have to keep watch of the teams that are playing for something meaningful going in the end of the season.
All right, let's get today's episode started. We got 3 games on today. The first game, it is a pretty early game, 3:10 Eastern Time game. We got the Giants taking on the Rockies. Right now, San Francisco leads the season series 11-4. But the odds for this game, San Francisco minus 140 for today's game, Colorado will be the underdogs, plus 120 value. Abhishek, first game of the night or first game of the day, super early game, man. Who you got, man? Giants or the Rockies?
I don't think the Giants are scared of the whole Rocky home field shit going on right now. Uh, we have Descalafani versus John Gray. John Gray's coming off of an injury. He's going to be pitching for them. Before last night, we didn't know who would pitch for them, but now we know. I guess they're taking him off the injured list, so he's coming back. Uh, San Francisco, 3 straight dubs. They beat the Dodgers, and then they've taken the first 2 games of this series. They're hot. Their bat is hot. They scored 28 runs in their last 3 games combined. That is a lot. That's on average, they're scoring almost 9.5 runs per game in the last 3. So their bats are hot right now. Their bullpen, this is a major thing for them. Their bullpen, their relief pitchers are rested from the last 2 days. They had to use a lot of their relief pitchers against the Dodgers. So since they've blown out the Rockies 2 straight games, all their main guys got to rest. All of them got to rest. They didn't have to use them for the series so far. So they'll be ready to go in case they need them today. Now we get into the starter, Descalfani. He looked like himself his last start. 6 innings, 0 runs allowed to the Dodgers. He looked like himself again. He's been injured the last month or so. He got injured against the Mets. Then he came back early. Then he got injured again, and then he came back early. Last start on Saturday, I think it was, Saturday or Friday, he actually looked like the guy that was pitching the whole season. So that was very encouraging. And in his career versus the Rockies, he has a 2.1 ERA, which is fantastic. And also, Desclafani has gone up against the Rockies 3 times this season. This season alone, he's gone up against them 3 times. 3-0. He's pitched 20 total innings, which is a huge sample. 2 total runs allowed. So he has absolutely dominated this Rockies team this season and in his career. Now we get into the Rockies, 3 straight L's. Their pitching has been awful. Usually their pitching has been great at home, but right now it's taking a turn for the worst. Their pitching has been dreadful. Their starters aren't even going longer than 2-3 innings. Their bullpen is already awful. So it's just bad mixed with bad, and they're not scoring that much. As I mentioned, John Gray is going to be starting for them coming off of an injury. So how far can he go? Usually pitchers coming off of an injury, they don't perform their best. And you come off an injury, you're going up against the Giants. That's not a reward, in my opinion. Before he got hurt, his last 4 starts, they lost all 4 of them. He has a 5.4 ERA in his last 7, which is bad, which is not that great at all. And in his career versus the Giants, 7.4 ERA, which is absolutely dreadful. Nearly 7 runs allowed per start on average if he goes the whole game. So that's disgusting. Everything leads towards the Giants here. Minus 140. I think just because of the pitching matchup, probably that's why this line may be low. But I think minus 140 is tremendous value on the Giants. And you can't tell me to pick the Rockies in this situation. You just can't. Even though they're really good at home.
All right, moving on to the second game of the slate. We have a 7:45 Eastern Time game on ESPN Plus. We got the Dodgers taking on the Cardinals. Right now, the Dodgers are leading the season series 4-1, including the last 2 games against the Cardinals. These last 2 days, 2-0. The line for this game, the Dodgers are the favorites, minus 130. St. Louis would be the underdogs, plus 110 value. Abhishek, who you got for the second game of the slate? Dodgers taking on the Cardinals.
Okay, we're about to get a little tricky here with this game. I like tricky. You gotta, I like this game, so you gotta find a way to bet it. So that's why I feel you're gonna have to spice it up a little bit. So let's get into it today. We got the Dodgers. We don't know who their starter is today. I think it's gonna be White. I think is his name. He's been up and down. He hasn't been that good for them, but they just did all their bullpen relievers were used yesterday. They used everybody. Yesterday was a bullpen game. They didn't have a starter yesterday. So if they do that same thing again, they're going to be taxed. How effective will they be? They have won 2 straight. Obviously, as I mentioned earlier, they're fighting with the Giants for the division. So every game means something. But these games are tricky for them because they don't have a starter. They don't have a guy that's going to eat up 5-6 innings. They just don't right now. But in case of the Cardinals, 4 straight L's. So their season, they need to hurry back because they're still in the playoff mix, but they need to stop the bleeding. I ultimately think they won't make the playoffs, but for them, obviously, they still believe they probably can. And if anybody can save their season, it's the guy pitching for them today, the veteran. I think he's 40 years old. Doesn't look like he is, and he's pitching at the top of his game. Adam Wainwright, their ace. He's been without him, this team would be like 20 games under 500 probably. So he has absolutely saved their season, even at his advanced age as a professional. Out of his last 9 starts, they've won 8 of them. He's 8-1 in his last 9 starts. 1.5 ERA in his last 9 starts. Absolutely amazing. And he has a 1.6 ERA versus the Dodgers in his career. So right now, basically the Dodgers' best case scenario is to score 2 runs against him. I understand you got to play the games. The numbers are the numbers. But right now, everything points to picking the St. Louis Cardinals, especially at plus value because of the pitching advantage. Now, here's the issue here. Their bullpen is garbage. Their bullpen is so bad that you can't trust them the whole game. Unless Adam Wainwright, he's been pitching really deep into games. He's been pitching 7 innings, 8 innings, 9 innings sometimes. But can I really bank on him going 7+ innings today? Because the Dodgers, their lineup is obviously one of the best in baseball. So with that being said, I would much rather take the first 5 innings of this game. So that way I know Adam Wainwright will be pitching for me. And I know that the Dodgers' worst relievers will be used first, not their best. Because you use your best relievers when the game is close. So with that being said, I think St. Louis, if you're going to pick this game, it should be St. Louis first 5 innings, and you still get plus 105 odds. So it's the same exact odds as if you were picking the whole game. So St. Louis, first 5 innings, that's the play here in my opinion.
All right, moving on to the last game of the slate. It's the 9:40 Eastern time game. We got the White Sox taking on the A's. Right now, the White Sox are leading the season series 4-1. The A's are on a 4-game skid. The line for this game has moved as well. Chicago opened up at plus 110 value. Right now, they're sitting at plus 150. Oakland opened up at minus 130. This line has moved since all the way to 170, minus 170. So the line has moved in favor of the A's. So Abhishek, the third game that we'll be going over, man, the White Sox taking on the A's. Who you got?
Oh man, Oakland, stop the bleeding. I thought that's been the mantra a couple of these days right now. Stop the bleeding. Who can save us? Just like for the Cardinals, I just mentioned Adam Wainwright, the veteran. If there's anybody that can save them, it's him right now. Stop the bleeding, the 4-game losing streak. And now we get to the Oakland A's, 4 straight L's, just like the Cardinals. And they got Frankie Montas, their ace right now, pitching for them. So can he stop the bleeding? Let's get into it. All right, Dallas Keuchel for the White Sox. Jesus Christ, man. This man was one of the best pitchers a couple of years ago, 4 years ago, 2017. I think he won the Cy Young, which is the award for the best pitcher in baseball in the American League. And how times have dropped, man. This man has been absolutely awful. I don't even think he's going to be pitching in the postseason at this rate. They probably won't use him because you can't deny these numbers. Dallas Keuchel, 8.3 ERA in his last 7 starts. 8.3 from a starter. His last 3 – this is my best stat of the day so far. Last 3 road starts by Dallas Keuchel. 0-3, 14 innings he's pitched. He's given up 15 runs. So basically, per inning, he's given up 1 run minimum. That's how bad Dallas Keuchel has been. And now we get into the Oakland A's. Obviously, they have not been playing well. They've lost 4 straight. They're right there in the playoff race. The Yankees are falling. The Red Sox keep losing. So they're helping them out because even though the Oakland A's have lost 4 straight, the Yankees and Red Sox keep losing as well. So that's why the lead hasn't been drastic. They're 31-20 against lefties. That's what Dallas Keuchel is. As I mentioned, Frankie Montas, that's their ace right now. He's been absolutely dominant for them. 2.0 ERA in his last 7 starts. His last 3 starts, He's gone 21 innings, so nearly 7 innings per start, 3 runs allowed. So basically, 7 innings and 1 run allowed per start is what he's done the last 3 starts. Once again, may have to make this a little spicy because, once again, another team, their bullpen, trash. I can't trust them. I can't trust them. So, if we're doing that, once again, first 5 innings. If I were, I think the Oakland A's win this game. But if you maybe pick between the two, I would take the first 5 innings with this game as well, because I know Dallas Keuchel is going to be pitching the first 2, 3, 4, 5 innings. I expect Oakland to drop at least 3, 4, 5 runs on their head. So, and Montas most likely will be pitching still. So, worst case scenario, I would say the score after 5 innings would be Oakland A's maybe 4, White Sox 2. So I can live with that. But if Montas leaves the game in like the 6th inning or the 7th inning, and the White Sox are still hanging around, that bullpen is so bad. Just like the Cardinals, there's so many bad bullpens out there right now, and these two are one of them, or 2 of them. My bad. So that's why first 5 innings, you gotta find a way to maneuver around it because the mismatches are so great that you want to find the value, and that's what I'm trying to do right now, and that's why we feel that first 5 innings for the Cardinals. Oakland, I'm more confident in for the whole game, but I would also lean towards first 5 innings for this game. But stay tuned. Obviously, as Arun mentioned, that the Giants game is an early tip-off. I mean, whatever you want to call it, at 3 o'clock. So we likely will give out our plays very soon. It's 10:40 Eastern time right now while we record this. So stay tuned.
All right, guys. That's 3 plays for you this episode. Make sure you tune into the IG page for the final picks. With that being said, hope you guys enjoy your Wednesday and happy gambling. Peace out.